Hello, everybody. This is a special midnight show. Uh, Me and James are going to have some word. I'm tired of this old dude talking shit.
They got beef.
I don't know how much of it is beef as it is a spirited debate.
It's just a spirited debate, James. So let me play my intro and we'll get to it. Good afternoon. Good evening. It's the Midnight Show coming to you live from my den, and me and my cat are going to be. Hopefully, she won't claw my leg today. I can actually get through one without having my leg cut open by her claws. As always, we have the Midnight Crew together. We have Angela. Hey, Angela.
Hi.
As always, she's she's herding these cats.
At least as long as I can stay awake.
Yup, as long as she can stay awake. We actually have Rotncorpse on location. How you doing, Rodden?
I did more weight than I expected for my regular diet.
He's going to give us the gym report later tonight. Sweet. We have Terry Bot. Hey, Terry Bot.
Hello.
And then we got James Colley. What up, James?
Another day, another quarter. How are you, Tier?
I'm phenomenal. So the reason for this special Monday showing of the Midnight Show is last night. It started Saturday when I made a statement that I think how the realist hero saved the kingdom is utter garbage, and James took umbrage to those words.
Well, not so much umbrage. It's more along the lines of the main character is still believable.
I don't think he is.
Okay. It's just because finance, agriculture are things that someone that's going into civics would know.
I don't have an issue with that. Like, that's not my issue with him. It's military tactics. It's architecture. It's what else did he display? It's a general grasp of knowledge that would be beyond the scale of what a civic servant, a civil servant should know. Like, I know a lot of shit.
Well, it's weaponized autism.
Would you say, Rodney?
I said it's weaponized autism.
But it's not portrayed as weaponized autism. He's portrayed as this knowledgeable character that just makes him come off as far unbelievable. And then he's also charismatic. He's also highly intelligent. Like, he rarely makes a mistake in that series. And I read the books, the light novels. So my knowledge comes from the light novels. He's also completely. I get the unwanted harem that he has, but he could have solved his harem problem in an instant.
Yes, he could have.
Like, the crime problem would have been solved.
Okay. See, I've only seen the anime. You've got
Okay.
knowledge of the light novel. So I'm sure that what's going on goes beyond the scope of the anime. And some of the things that you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've only seen the anime. So, and we all know that they water some of that down.
Uh-huh.
But from what I've seen in the anime, he's a Japanese civil engineer. You got to understand the way that if you go with the educational system in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason why you would think that it's too much knowledge for someone in the United States.
But again, it's not even that. I get he's an engineer, so I can grant him architecture, but military. He has a grasp of military tactics that borderlines on professional soldier. Like he comes off as a seasoned general.
He doesn't really come off as a seasoned general. He lets
In the books, he does.
Oh, okay. See, in the anime, he defers to
the princess.
He deferred to the princess, yeah.
In the books, however, he come. It's their first major victory against the enemy nation is all his doing. It's him. He got the Lorelei's grandmother on his side and told her get her ass over to that one city and defend it.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have the knowledge of the terrain to know like, hey, we need to defend that location. And again, his stuff comes off as more seasoned general than, oh, I'm just some kid that has a basic grasp.
Well, as someone who's been in the military, dealt with several different people in the military, or I should just say several, probably more than hundreds in that whole thing. Military intelligence is an oxymoron, okay?
Which is a right, I couldn't hear you.
Military intelligence is an oxymoron.
Yeah, but again, and that's one of my biggest issues with him.
The military thing, I'll give you.
Okay.
But as far as the civil engineering aspect,
and I'll give you those.
Huh?
And I'll grant you those. Like, I get it. Like, he, as a civil engineer, he would need to know architecture, finance, and all kinds. He was going into politics. It makes sense that he would know these things, or at least have some grasp of them.
Right. Now, you also got to remember this is an anime.
Yeah.
Some things do get embellished. Not to the extent of Dragon Ball embellished, but there's some embellishment there.
I agree.
But if you noticed, in the episode where he's bringing up where he called forth for talent within the kingdom, and while each one is talking, he's using his poltergeist to look up things, and it's reading it while he's talking, while those individuals are talking to him.
And
so he's gaining knowledge while listening.
Yeah, but the issue, the military stuff predates him starting to use that ability more. He came from the books, from the light novels. He came in like the first book is him winning the war against the rebels.
Yeah,
and it's him like he literally by himself defeats the rebels. Not by himself, but his tactics defeat the rebels by himself.
Well, all you'd have to do is read 3 kingdoms.
Huh?
All you would have to do is read the Three Kingdoms in order to understand that.
I read the Three Kingdoms book.
So you know how heavy it is, focused on tactics and strategy.
Yeah, but again, that's not something. Well, then again, he even then he still comes off as a seasoned general. Like
Right, but
I read the Three Kingdoms book cover to cover, and I'm still not like, oh, I can do. I know when correct feign, I can do a 8 crane path formation. Yeah, I could. Like I know the best place to lay an ambush. I do, but still.
Okay, it's a MacGuffin, but I will chalk it up
Right.
to. I will chalk it up to his otherworldly poltergeist as how he can learn the terrain in a world he has no idea about. And then also he still has the black robed his right hand, the black robed.
You talking about the ninjas?
No, his right hand.
Oh, his because he had dark magic, or in the books they explain that he's a rare type that can use dark magic.
No, his the guy who he makes his minister.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The librarian.
Yeah, the fat guy. Yeah.
Not the fat guy. The fat guy is the cook. He's the not Poncho, but bleh. The one that judged how worthy the king was. He was as the king, based on Poncho.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Black Road Minister.
Yeah.
He also has him at his side. Which, and if you look, if you remember after they stopped the invading, Siltfeld?
Swathel, the kingdom that he marries the princess of.
Yeah. I want to say it was Siltfeld or something like that. But anywho, when they were laying out the city and how it was so confusing and all that, and that it was explained that it was for a military strategy, then you have the black-robed minister trying to how to navigate the city better for its citizens. So, city planning.
Would you say, Rodney?
I said, heads up, you'll probably lose me for a little bit while I'm driving home.
Okay.
All right.
But, yeah.
Again, and Harry, so my other issues is he could have solved his harem problem instantly.
It's only a problem if it's a problem. For him,
No.
he's more focused on the kingdom. He wasn't opposed to having multiple wives. It was more that, we need to get our kingdom intact before I go playing around with 4 other women.
No, so in the books, it comes off a little different. So in the books, it was, all right, I want to do stuff with you guys, but I can't until I officially do stuff with the princess, who I'm supposed to, that she's supposed to be my main wife. Well, I'm not going to do stuff with her yet because I got other shit to do. And when the kingdom was officially settled, he said, I'm not ready to be a father yet. Like, dude, there are other methods you could still do the stuff and settle her as your main wife and not get her pregnant. You're supposed to be this civil engineer. You're from a modern system. You know about the fucking pull-out method, or you can make a facsimile of a condom.
Yeah.
Like there are other means to get shit done.
But he was trying to go with that subtle, gentlemanly kind of thing, you know? You know the trope.
And he maybe because I'm an American and I have the American point of view that you have 4 women. All you had to do is sleep with the main one to establish her as your main wife, and make sure you give her the first child so you have the heir. She has the heir, and then you can do all you fucking want.
Well, see, the thing of it is, though, he was the coronation can't take place until after the wedding. He cannot ascend to the throne until after he marries the first princess.
Yo,
and
how
in
can I
order
didn't
for
see
that to
that?
happen, there was a year. What was it? A 2-year wait on that one.
Yeah, but again,
And
the books play well. God damn it!
am I punching holes in things?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Again, reading them, I read the books. I didn't watch the anime. Maybe he plays off differently in the anime than he does in the books.
He does. I got a feeling.
But in the books, I got up to the 4th book. I'm like, I think I stopped reading. He had already established himself as king of the enemy nation that invaded. And he had already started winning the people. He had just finished winning the people over to his side, and no, he just made contact with the larger empire.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just starting to fight the pirates. He was going to fight them. I'm like, he essentially made a carrier ship. And I'm like,
the carrier ship was already there.
Nope, they didn't have carrier ships.
See, in the anime, it was already established that the ship that he took to face the Dragonoid.
No, when he made the carrier ship was built so he could fight the he essentially made a troop carrier, an aircraft carrier for his dragons. They won't go too far out, and
aircraft carrier. Okay, yeah, because he already had the battleship Albert. That's the one I was thinking of. And see, that ship was already built.
Not in the books. He designed it. He helped them complete it.
Okay, he helped them complete Albert.
Yeah, was it Albert? I don't think I got to the part where they named it.
Okay, see, in the anime, it was that the battleship Albert was already built, and that it would, although he repurposed it to take the Dragon, the Air Force Castle, and he used it as a Trojan horse.
Again, I don't like it, James. I think he's overrated. I think he was just too knowledgeable.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He has way too much knowledge for his own damn good. But where he does show some legitimate, it plays different in the anime, I'm going to say, because he comes across as someone that's patching holes.
In the books, he comes off as building bridges.
Huh?
He comes. It comes off more like he's building a bridge.
Yeah. See, in the anime, though, it comes across more as he's patching holes in a very big dam. and that he just wants to be a bureaucrat. Because from his perspective at the start, not to give away any spoilers, that when the king hands him the crown and says, "You do it," he doesn't know why.
Well, and I got to the part where they explained like the queen, her magic powers is she can see the future. Her future self can tell her past self stuff.
Yeah.
And
and that's why is because this future handed him the crown, made it
no, in the future they made him he was a bureaucrat. They made him a minister instead of making him king, and people rejected his ideas, and it got him and the princess killed because they fell in love.
Yeah, they fell in love at Randall Castle, where Randall was trying to stave off a coup.
Yeah.
But after Albert told him about that, Albert being the king, told him about what had happened, that's why Randall took in those corrupt nobles.
Oh, you talking about the false coup attempt and the one Air Force commander joining without knowing what he was joining, and I guess he was a lion humanoid that decided to his rebellion wasn't a real rebellion.
No, it was that he was acting on Albert's behalf.
Yeah, to get rid of the corrupt nobles, and he gave him the poison wine.
It wasn't poison. It made him appear dead, because if you notice his personal squad that answers to him, because if you remember right before Randall took the drink, he said that his captains and those closest to him would accept the same fate that Randall was given.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it to where they appeared dead, because later on during the trial of the Dragonoid, the Air Force commander,
mm-hmm.
and the rest of the corrupt nobles are there, with the exception of the two that stood up again and protested.
Mm-hmm.
And the king's inner guard is actually Randall and Randall's commander or captains.
It plays out differently in the book. He gives him the poisoned wine, and the head of his guard is the Lorelei.
Well, yeah, she protects him along with the Dark Elf.
Yeah, but the head of that unit is the Lorelei.
But the Black Guard,
yeah, she's
is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's the head of that unit. Like Randall dies. The Air Force commander is he's stripped of his title, his nobility, and forced to be the Air Force commander in a faraway base, which becomes the aircraft carrier as punishment, which is actually a massive promotion.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing. I haven't gotten that far yet. The anime didn't cover that. It only covers through the new year. Where the anime stops is they get Albert and the Queen explain to him everything, why they gave the crown to him.
Yeah.
See,
and they cover that in book 3. If I'm not mistaken. I think I read the book 5 when he talks to the scientist chick, and trying to get her married, or
married
Right
to. Yeah, I love that. Left him a note. I'm taking the dragon bones for research.
and then he meets the wolves, the wolf clan, and gets soy sauce.
Yeah.
Like again, the books play out completely differently, and maybe the anime is different, but
The anime's way different from what you're saying.
The light novels, he just unbelievable in some of his actions, like, and then the MacGuffin of him having the otherworldly puppeteer magic is just is literally a ass pull.
Basically, he's just a giant Marty Sue.
He really is. Like, he's charismatic as fuck. He's knowledgeable on a lot more things than he should be. Like, he does the idol contest. He makes the idols, the Japanese idols, in their world. Like, he basically makes TV.
Yeah. Okay, let's explain the TV thing. There's a thing called the Gemstone Broadcast. Each king
wait a minute,
each region.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I can explain it really quickly. Rodney, have you ever played Mass Effect 3?
Nope.
Damn.
Basically.
Huh?
I haven't even played Mass Effect 4.
You have? Wait a minute. Have you ever seen Deep Space Nine?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not the one questioning this.
No, I'm just saying. I was going to give everybody a really quick explanation. So it's literally the communicators from Mass Effect 3 with the hollow filter, if you will, where they could talk great distances away.
But they can see each other, I'm guessing. So it's kind of like the old Dick Tracy watch in a way.
Yeah.
Except for they couldn't see each other, I think, in that one.
And it's bigger. It's essentially magic, and you can broadcast whole images. It's like a giant screen, gem screen, in the middle of town square, and each king has one where they can communicate with each other. Like, each ruler has one, and then they can have one where they can communicate with the people. It's it's like an emergency broadcast system. If they need to tell you, like, hey, I'm delivering a speech. Come, bring your ass here. It's like that, but he makes it into television.
Yeah, he turns it into television as to entertain his people, because if they're entertained, then they're not going to worry about how empty their bellies is, because they're being entertained during the food shortages.
Well, he does that for the people of the nation he conquered. He conquered it without even laying a fucking finger on it. And I guess the best line I ever heard in a story is, if you gain it easily, you won't keep it. But if you have to work to keep it, you'll keep it forever.
Exactly. But the thing of it is, he did actually work to get Siltfeld. Oh wait, no, Siltfeld was I keep saying Siltfeld, but that's the wrong anime.
I believe it's Swarf something. It's the military nation.
Freedom, Freedom, or something like that. Because it becomes Freedonia.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, yeah.
All hail Rebellion, a land I didn't make up.
Right. But anywho, facing that army head on, and with the dictatorship that country had, taking over their capital city was like a cakewalk by giving them freedom.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he gave them freedom to paint their houses, to sing,
He took
yada yada yada.
He essentially took North Korea and made it South Korea.
He basically turned it into Amsterdam, basically.
He took a military dictatorship ruled by two idiots that were so obsessed with retaking their lost provinces from the other kingdom that they violated the treaty.
Yeah,
set by the great empire to fight the Demon King.
right. But because they thought they'd get away with it because what's his face's country wasn't
a member state,
signatory.
It wasn't part of NATO.
Yeah. But anywho, going back to it.
Really quick, I'm gonna duck out, guys. I'm fading fast. Have a good night.
Excuses.
Good night.
Later.
Night, sweet dreams. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Oh Lord.
My arms are dead.
All right, she's gone now. Time to really get it on.
Where are the naked women at?
Woo! Party time.
Good.
Well, I can say at least for my dumbbell bench press, I definitely beat my record.
Ooh, what'd you do?
3 sets of 10 with an 80-pound dumbbell in each hand.
Oh yeah, Rotten. So how was the gym report? Anyone on how the treadmill looking today?
I don't know. I didn't actually go into the treadmill area. Oh,
What's the news from the weight room?
Skull crushers are good when you almost kill yourself. Hey, look, when you're doing triceps, there's occasionally times you want to feel like that last rep might be your last rep in life.
All right, James, we beat this horse to death, and I'm pretty sure Terry Bot is over there like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? So, hey, Terry Bot.
I tuned out the minute you started, and I just kept half an ear out for anything
relevant
related to like other topics, like Angela leaving, or when my ears perked up when you said Mass Effect. It's like, okay, maybe this is gonna get in. Oh no, he hasn't seen it. Okay, never mind.
All right, so let's talk about fucking Mass Effect.
Nothing of it.
I've not played it in years, but no, I mean I enjoyed it. I thought as a series it was pretty good. This was back when BioWare was still able to make interesting games.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about the Mass Effect series is that as a protagonist, you're trying to fuck your crew members.
Well, that's every BioWare game. That's just part of the course.
Yeah, like at some point you're gonna fuck a crewmate or a squad mate.
And if they have tentacles, even better. It's a harder quest.
Yeah.
The quest to get my tentacles sucked. Felt up.
It's no, you could definitely see the EA influence in Mass Effect 3, though. Like everything was streamlined. To the game's detriment. Like there's a reason people like shut the bed. Not just for the ending, because the ending was retarded, but even beyond that, just everything in Mass Effect 3 was like stripped down from the previous two games. You could definitely see the change.
I was more pissed when they went, huh?
So that's how a lot of game series go. Like, look at the fact that from Demon Souls to Dark Souls 2 to 3, and 3 technically being considered one of the easiest ones to beat.
No, but the thing is,
granted,
the
first
Mass Effect, you could clearly see EA bought BioWare, and everything changed from that point.
Yeah,
it is quite clearly EA's fault.
It literally Mass Effect went from being literally a space RPG, a space opera RPG to an action RPG in the span of one game.
So basically, what you're saying is that EA Sports pulled a Courtney Love on
They Kurt Cobain the series.
Yeah,
Mhm.
basically. But they did it with Dragon Age as well. Like, you can see the difference between Dragon Age 1 and 2 because EA bought BioWare between the two games. The difference is like very, very obvious. And then Dragon Age Inquisition, that was completely done by EA, is just garbage.
All right, so don't get me wrong. I like some of the stuff. All right, Vark from 2 is probably one of the only redeeming things about 2.
Look, I'll be honest. I liked 2 for the because I always liked the smaller scope story. Like I like Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time because it's just like 3 days in this one small town. I like that because saving the world is like so overdone. So I don't mind the smaller scope of the story, and that carried Dragon Age 2 quite a long way for me. But as far as gameplay goes, it was very, very different from the first game. It's like far more action oriented and far less tactical.
Agree. But again, 2 had some. Vark saves those games for me. Vark is very entertaining.
There's 2 very big things I like about Dragon Age 2, and they're both Isabella.
Oh God, I can't fucking stand Isabella.
You probably made the mistake of listening to her talk.
Oh, my bad. That's probably my first fucking.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I said there's 2 big reasons and they're both Isabella, that was meant to suggest that.
Her tits. I get it.
Yeah.
Like I wish they would have brought back like Isabella. They would have brought back the entire crew from 2.
And goddamn, of course you were hoping they'd bring back Isabella fucking.
Yeah.
No, so they bring back Vark as a mainstay because he was popular. So why not bring back the other 2 popular characters? And then they leave the Anders storyline in the air. Like you don't deal with Anders at all.
I think by the time of Dragon Age Inquisition, they had gone full woke, and the thought of having a sexy female character was like, oh fuck, we can't do that.
Yeah, because they got rid of lust demons, which pissed me off to no end.
Yeah, like
not unless she has the side of her head shaped power haircut.
Yeah, no,
it looks more like a dude now.
Everything sexy about the series was removed, so Isabella was never going to be allowed in, or they'd have her join a convent and dress as a nun.
Yeah, but all right, so
they're going to have her dress as a nun. That shows a favoritism of religion.
Yeah,
they wear a hijab because she's a strong female power woman.
Yeah, because they covered Liliana up, and she was the sexy one from. They covered both Morgan and Liliana. Sorry, man.
Liliana was never sexy. She was like the cute one, as opposed to Morrigan being the sexy one.
What they should have did was put one back in.
Oh yeah.
Again, they leave the Anders storyline hanging. Like it was a major plot point in 2.
Yeah.
And you don't deal with him in the end because you could have him flee. So why not have him reappear as either an enemy or a potential ally?
Well, I think the whole point of it was 2 was such like a small scope story that they can easily say, who gives a fuck what happened in Kirkwall? It has no bearing on the world at large.
But you bring in Vark.
No, but my point is that like the scope of 2 was so small that they can dismiss anything from it and say who cares, because Kirkwall is meaningless on a global scale, and Inquisition went back to save the world as the major plot. So they can say, look, what happened to Anders? Who cares? He's irrelevant. We're talking about saving the world now. They kind of gave themselves that out by making them.
But he literally starts the war. Like the whole war starts because he kills Grand Clark Althena.
Sure, but once the war is started, it doesn't really matter what happens to him.
That's true. I would have loved to seen Kirkwall at least one more time. I want to know what they did with the statue of Meredith. Like they just said they left it there. Like people are just too afraid to deal with it, and she's still alive.
Yeah, I haven't played these games in like quite a long time, so my memory's not super clear. But yeah, I mean, I would be interested if they'd brought some of the stuff from 2 back. Because I mean, I just did not care about anything that happened in Inquisition. It was so boring.
I mean, again, they touch on plot like the idol that Meredith forged into the sword. Like they touch on those things. Oh well, what's it called? Samson has that weapon. Now that I think about it. And then the whole fucking the Dwarven Empire that somehow they aren't as prominent. That's another thing that makes no damn sense. Like the dwarves shouldn't have more. Like they have one colony in Orzammar, but from the way it sounds, they had multiple kingdoms all around the world. So why is there only one Dwarven kingdom?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't remember the details that clearly. So if you're going to get into like very nitpicky plot points, like I don't remember.
Sorry.
No. I mean, I'm just saying I haven't played it in so long. I don't remember the details, so I can't really speak to that. But no, I mean, I'm happy to complain about Inquisition. I'm good at complaining about Inquisition. Fuck that game.
Yeah, well, Inquisition had again taken away the lust demons. Like you had sloth, you had this, and not named them after the 7 deadly sins, and like despair. Why not envy? You had pride.
Yeah.
Why not have greed?
Yeah, no, I think they should have had all 7. I think it was stupid for them to remove the lust demons. It made no sense, except for virtue signaling to feminists.
And if you read some of the articles about it, that's what they said. They felt like the design was too sexual.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that the reason they did it was to appease the idiot feminists who thought everything was too sexy, and so it must be removed.
Oh, you're right, because around that time, Anita Sarkeesian was doing her tours of every major gaming studio. Like she spoke for everybody.
Yeah, no, she took it upon herself to speak to the world.
I am going to be dropping for a minute, so that way I can switch over to my computer.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, like what's another company around that time that really Naughty Dog really sucked her cock?
Yeah. Oh God.
Naughty Dog had lightning in a bottle, and I don't know what the fuck happened.
Which games did Naughty Dog make? I'm trying to remember.
Last of Us.
Oh God, yeah. I played like 15 minutes of the first game, didn't like it, and then never looked back. So I don't know why people hype up The Last of Us so much, but yeah, it sucked.
All right, so I don't particularly like the gameplay, but I like the story, and I watched more story videos than actually played it, and the story was compelling. Like you had this guy lose his daughter at the beginning of the outbreak, and him basically shutting his heart out to the world. Like, and then here comes this little girl who essentially becomes his new daughter.
I can believe that the story is good. I will take your word for it. I just did not get invested because the game was so boring. Like every game that gets hyped up as like a big deal is just so boring. I've not liked a big budget game in a long time. So I'm hoping Street Fighter 6 will be the first one in like 5 years that I'm actually.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's going to disappoint you.
But that aside, like I don't care about The Last of Us. I don't care about Far Cry.
James, you still with us?
I am.
Terry,
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
man.
here.
Sorry,
Yeah,
we kind of hopped on the video games.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
mean,
I asked that because I
was-
thought I
I
heard
was-
someone snoring for a moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was completely silent for the anime section, so I mean, it
Oh, I got
makes
nothing,
sense
no
that I'm
issue
going
with
to
the
talk more.
silence. With the silences, I thought I heard someone snoring.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But yeah, it's the what was I about to say? Fuck.
No, but like I was saying, I like any big budget title. I don't care if they released GTA 6. I would not buy it. If they,
You know what I've been finding most of my time is being spent indie games.
yeah, no, 100%. All classic games from like 20
Classics
years ago.
and retro, yeah. Indies and retros.
Like I've been playing Final Fantasy VIII recently, and it's not the best in the series by any means, but it's better than modern games.
All right, so Final Fantasy VIII is marginally better than Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah. See, I don't like the gameplay at all, but at least it's like turn-based, well, active time battle,
Yeah.
where I can just turn my brain off and hold down the X button, and it'll just play through, like auto finish the fights for me, and then I can like focus on the story, which is the only bit that's actually interesting.
Yeah, I just didn't like the drawing of magic thing.
Oh, fuck that! No, the good thing.
Yeah,
about
that was retarded.
The good thing about the Steam version is that it gives you a magic booster. If you click it, you get 100 of every spell.
Oh, nice.
Really?
And it's like done. I click button now. And yeah, it's not every spell.
I still say 13 wasn't that bad. The Gambit system in 12 pissed me the fuck off.
Gambit system in 12 pissed me off.
I will say 13 is better than 12. 12 is my least favorite Final Fantasy game.
And I know Satsu likes 12, but just that whole Gambit system just irritated me.
So if I got to name my worst gameplay one, it's gonna be 12. I can't stand 12 battle system or a good Gambit system. But if I'm going storyline, I fucking can't stand 8. 8 is.
I don't have a problem with 8.
Yeah, I didn't mind 8.
8 wasted so much potential, and then it's never like it clearly alludes that he's Laguna's son. It alludes he has to be Laguna's son based off all the information we get, but it's never brought up.
Yeah,
because some things don't need an answer.
These are badly translated from Japanese.
Yeah,
like you got to make allowances.
Yeah, I get that. I really do understand that it's badly translated, but again, from what I got, I'm like,
no, but like my standards for a translated Japanese story are very different from something that was written in English as a first language. So, like,
and this is also the PlayStation 1 era.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of problems with the translation, obviously, but I can look past that because, like, I can see. I can get what they're going for. I can pick up on the themes. It's like it's fine.
And Adele was supposed to be a man.
What's that?
Adele, the sorceress Adele, was supposed to be a man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, but just overall, I don't have a problem with the story because I can like make allowances for the translation. If if it was an American game and that was the storytelling, it'd be a very different situation.
Has America made any good RPGs other than Bethesda, and they're marginally okay?
Bethesda games are terrible. I have not played a single Bethesda game that's good.
I cannot remember who made Legend of Dragoon or Legend of the Dragoon.
Activision.
I still love that game.
I believe Activision.
The first 2 Fallouts were good. If you want to count
Black Idols, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were good.
Studios. Yeah.
The Guy game was pretty good.
Which one?
The Guy game.
I don't think I know that one.
What?
It was called the Guy Game.
Oh yeah.
Basically, what it was this guy was standing on the beach during spring break. He'd get these girls to come up and ask them questions. If they got a question wrong, then flush the audience.
And Legend of the Dragoon was a Japanese game.
Yeah, but I can't see. I don't remember. It doesn't say what studio made it. But I guess it was a Sony game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Japanese studio. Japanese studio. That's the name. That is the name of the developer. Japanese studio.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they also, but that game, if you ever find a copy of it, do not sell it because it's a banned game.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever come across the Guy Game, you'll want it. It can be worth some money.
Yeah. I think if I don't know where it is, but I bought a copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that I think would probably be worth something because like that was like such a limited run of that game because of the licensing issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure I probably
Take for a ride.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because Marvel vs. Capcom is not that great. Like, really, it's just I've got so much nostalgia for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and that's like the only reason I still play it with Adam is like yeah, I remember this game. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I never liked. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, everyone hates. No one likes that game.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite had the issue of you crammed too much into that game, and you lost what made that game special.
Well, they pissed people off in a number of different ways. First of all, they took the X-Men out because of a licensing issue. And then when people complained, instead of saying, yeah, look, we get it. We would have liked the X-Men to be in there too, but we couldn't secure the rights, blah, blah, blah. What they said instead was, well, you've got the same character function, so what are you complaining about?
Oh, God.
Like they were actually saying, no one cares about playing as Magneto. They care about playing as someone with a triangle jump. And there's characters with triangle jumps in the game.
It's sort of like Blizzard. And do you not have cell phones?
Yeah, it was
The
just
Diablo
totally
thing.
tone deaf.
You don't have a cell phone?
It was totally missing the reason that people like these games. It is a big part they get to play as the characters that they like.
Yeah.
Like that is a huge factor. That's the whole reason they paid for the Marvel license. Like if all that mattered was character functions, why even pay Marvel for a license?
Yeah.
Like it just transparently doesn't make sense. It's like utterly ridiculous thing to say. But you know, that was their stance. And
like, and if that's what they're going to do, then just like make the generic characters called like Magnetosis or something.
Yeah, like Magnet Man or
it's not.
I'm pretty sure Magnet Man is a Mega Man character, so the only reason why you really couldn't do that one. That's why I was like Magnetosis
or Laser Eye Man for Cyclops.
No, he's binary. He's binary beams.
But the other thing they did was, I think it was Infinite. They had the gem system where you could, like, literally buy gems that powered up your character, which is like bad enough in an RPG, but in a fighting game where everything is very much supposed to be, like everything is balanced and fair, that really pissed people off.
Yeah, fighting games are supposed to be skill based.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be currency based.
Microtransaction.
A pay-to-win fighting game is going to lose the entire audience. Like,
Shit,
it goes against the fundamental values of that style of game.
The only
Remember,
so the only thing you should have for buying in fighting games is skins or arenas.
Yeah,
No, not even skins or arenas. Like,
and I only say skins, not even arenas, because then you can't. Certain people can't use them.
No, not even that. It shouldn't even be skins. Like, only thing a fighting game you should pay for a fighting game is additional characters that weren't in the base game.
No. I'm absolutely fine with selling skins as long as they're cosmetic only. Like if you're gonna say, you know, this skin gives +5 to punching, then no, don't do that. But if it's like you can pay $2 and get Ryu to look like Arthur from Ghouls and Ghosts, like sure, if someone wants to pay that, I've got no problem with them using different skins.
Like that's the whole thing is the skin should only be cosmetic. So like
100%.
When like you punch, there's fireworks, but they don't do any additional damage. They just look funny.
Exactly, yeah. But like if you really like one of Chun-Li's sexy outfits and you're willing to pay a couple bucks to play with that outfit, yeah, I've got no problem with that.
Same.
I was pissed off at Mortal Kombat and the easy fatalities. Like you pay to get easy fatalities.
That was bullshit. That was not something that should be sold.
Like isn't the whole point of the game to do the fatalities and show? Oh well, you can do it easier.
No, but like it's weird because fatalities really are pure cosmetic. Like if you think about it, they're cosmetics that they're selling. But they're such a fundamental part of the identity of the brand that it really feels like they're cheapening it by selling easy fatalities.
Yeah, as someone who only ever got like the uppercut one to work a couple times in the old games, like don't fucking do that shit, man.
Yeah,
that was again, it was a show of skill.
Yes.
And like I actually learned how to do every single fatality in Mortal Kombat 2.
Nice.
I wanted to, and when I beat my friends, I could be like, "Ha! I turned into Kintaro and punched you in half."
Shit, fatalities was literally the first teabagging.
Yeah, basically.
Like you had with a fatality, you've already won the match. All you had to do is punch him and it's over. But you did a fatality. You took that extra step to say, "I whipped your ass."
Well, one of the things that I thought was really funny was I saw a Mortal Kombat tournament. I forget which Mortal Kombat. I think it might have been 2. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this guy won the first game and he did a fatality. And everyone is like calling out the disrespect. You haven't won yet. This is a best 2 out of 3 and you're already doing a fatality. And like that was like part of the feeling of the game is like, oh, he's
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just got my oxygen on.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
It's all good, my
that you breathe. So I mean, I can't complain too much about you breathing.
No. I was just making sure he was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that sort of thing is like a big part of the culture of fighting games. Is like the taunting and the oh, he thinks he's gonna win. Oh, he's feeling himself here.
It's braggadocious.
Yeah.
It's actually very similar to hip hop culture. The fact that it is the braggadociousness, the showing that you are better.
Well,
but that's everything.
And then but it's not just the smack talk. It's the being able to back it up.
It's funny you say that because fighting games are very popular with black people. Like if you look at professional,
oh, dude,
yeah.
If you look at professional fighting game players, most of them are black or Asian.
Low tier asshole, yeah.
Low tier god is a prick. But like, if you look at like IDOM, Punk, there's far more black professional Street Fighter players at the very least than white ones.
Yeah, one of my old Pro Supers or Expediters, I can't remember. That man used to bring in his PS4 and basically he would challenge any of the airmen. He's like, anyone who can beat me legitly, without having to use some bullshit cheating thing. He's like, you will get sent home today and you don't have to worry about coming back for the rest of the day.
Nice.
Like quite literally, it's like if we're down far enough and like you can beat me, you can go home.
That's awesome. There was a
And
guy,
he
David
would
Serlin.
fucking crush people.
Oh, of course. I mean, you don't make that kind of challenge lightly.
Oh yeah.
But there's a guy, David Serlin, and he was actually the designer for the remake of Super Turbo. And his rule was, if you think there's a balancing issue in the game, beat me with it. If you can beat me with whatever you're talking about, then I will agree that it's overpowered. Or if you think something is underpowered, make me use it. And if I can't win with it, then it is underpowered. And like, I think that's a great way of like, you want to bitch about something being too strong? Fucking prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, at least you got devs like that, who, all right, if you can do it, then you can do it. And I it's clear that it's broken, and I need to revisit that situation.
I just like that because it's very easy for ego to get involved and be like, I lost, therefore the thing that beat me is too strong. And like, to prevent that, he was like, okay, you think Guile's Sonic Boom is too strong? You pick Guile, I'll pick whoever I want. You win, I'll rebalance Guile.
What was that game? Ages ago, when I think Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 came out, there was a guy who accused his because he taped it, he uploaded it to YouTube. Accused the guy of cheating. All right, because he beat him with Yamcha. Like, by far, Yamcha is the weakest character in that game, and he handed him his ass. Okay. All right, you can't. You cheated somehow. Okay, you give me the character that you want me to fight you against, and I'll play that character, and I'll still fuck you up. And he did.
Yeah.
Oh, somehow you're still cheating.
Like, there's just some people who can't freaking handle it.
That's actually my theory for why fighting games are not as popular as a lot of other genres. Is it's very hard for you to blame anything other than your own shortcomings when you lose. Like, if you're in a team game, you can say, oh, my fucking teammates, I always get a shit team. Mm-hmm. Whereas if it's one-on-one and you lose, you sucked. you played worse. And there's very little you can do to get around that, which is why they're like, oh, the character's broken. Oh, this is the problem. But I think that's why games are not popular.
I'm completely aware of my skill. There are only a few fighting games that I particularly like, and I'm completely well aware of my skills. I'm shit at a lot of games that I play.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
So am I. Like, I've got no problem admitting that, but it's very hard for most people to just be like, yes, I'm bad at this.
But see, being bad at, say, a video game isn't a bad thing.
No, it just means you haven't put time into it.
Yeah. Like go ahead.
No, like if I were to challenge, I don't know any famous players, but if I were to start playing League of Legends and go up like the best League of Legends team in the world, I would get destroyed because I have no idea how to play that game. I've never even installed it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know what you do in that game, really. So
it's not going to be like the male American freaking team of oh god damn it! I can't
soccer.
Remember no, not the soccer one. The freaking ice thing with the brooms.
Oh,
curling. That looked like it was a bunch of dads that met each other for the weekend and decided they were going to do curling and fucking won.
So yeah, like if I played League of Legends, I would be terrible because I don't know anything about it and I don't know how to play. And I don't think that's a problem. It just means I've put my time into other things.
Yeah. Because that's like one of the things I've brought up with a couple people I know is like, I'm not the biggest Dark Souls fans. Like I played, I didn't mind Demon Souls. I played through the first was playing the first Dark Souls, and I played for about an hour and a half and got bored.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I did the same. I'm not a fan of those games.
All right, so
but I also could say flat out in the first Dark Souls game, the controls are a little broken.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
and there's people that just do not want to admit that. I understand the get good, but it's still like you can still say get good and admit that the game has broken controls.
Of course.
So this is my thing. I played the first Dark Souls. My best friend had already played the game, and he told me, "You're not gonna like it. You're gonna return that game like a week later, and sure as fucking the sun does rise, I returned that motherfucker a week later. I did not play 2. I played Bloodborne because I'm a huge Lovecraftian fan. That game, I got fucking far in that game, but I beat 3.
See, I've got for the Xbox 360 Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and like I said, I played 1, and they sit in a storage thing at my folks' house because I am still a collector in a lot of things.
Agreed.
No, I played the first Dark Souls for maybe an hour and a half. I didn't like it, so I just stopped playing.
Yeah, well, I don't need them to tell me everything I need to do, but I do like a little bit more direction than the having to scour everything.
Yeah. But I did think it was funny. I saw a YouTube video where they were complimenting Dark Souls' game design, and I was like living proof of the opposite of what they were saying, because they're saying it's really clever because there's this obvious direction that you should go, but if you go that way, you get overpowered and you realize that you've got to go back and find a different way forward. Whereas I thought, well, this is the obvious way forward.
Yeah.
I can't do anything here because I get mauled. I'm going to play something else.
So Dark Souls is is linear in its design. Like you can't go. You got to go from point A to point B.
No, my point is they were saying this is really good game design that you realize that you're out of your depth, so there must be somewhere else that you're meant to go to. It's I didn't make that realization. I was like, fuck this game. This is too hard. And I
didn't make that realization either.
See, I didn't because of playing Demon Souls with a buddy of mine because we were going through. And we almost we were able to beat the first boss before you're supposed to die and whatnot. Or at least I spent way too much time doing that. But countless people I know in the early on when they first play it, they go through the bridge and I watched my friend die so often and figured out how to go through there and then found the fucking ginormous dude with a shield just after the fucking bridge and barely fucking beat him by basically doing the whole I'm gonna run partially down the stairs so he'll come up and do the whole thing, then run back all the way fucking around and attack him from the back, and it took for fucking ever. But I won, and then I didn't play anymore after that because of something or other.
So Dark Soul, the core of Dark Soul design is it's supposed to be a challenge that you overcome, but
it's also supposed to be a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, it's supposed to be trial and error. But see, most gamers at the time of its creation, like the first one, we're so used to being handheld a little, given a thorough tutorial and be given a thorough tutorial that says, "Oh, this is what you do in this situation, and this is what you do." And the first boss is usually, cakewalk. It's
that's the modern game design. If you go back to the retro games, they were figure it out. But as games advanced, they got more and more handholdy and precise in their explanations. So now, if you get someone who's only ever played modern games, and they're like, "Okay, so what do I do?" It's
Terry, don't forget, with retro games, they were expected to be bought in the store to where you would open it and you'd be reading the game thing with it.
Yeah, you had a manual.
Yeah, no, but not only that, there's which way do you go? Figure it out. It's if you look at Zelda 3, sure, there's signposts, but there's not handheld instructions for how to proceed. They say, okay, these are the locations of the 3 amulets. You need to get all 3 if you want the Master Sword. Go. And it gives you just enough direction that you know what you're trying to do. You've got something to work towards. But it doesn't say, okay, now go 3 rooms to the north.
That's one of the things that they did in Borderlands 3 that they were kind of making fun of. Wow, I'm kind of really guiding you through this, huh?
Yeah. And I prefer the old way. I think they should leave something for the play to actually figure out for themselves. Otherwise, it's an interactive movie, not a game.
I mean, I don't. Again, some of the games I play a lot of strategy games, so it needs to give me a thorough tutorial, unless I'm going to be completely utterly lost and know what's going on, and it's going to suck.
See, strategy games are different because they need to explain all the rules so that you can incorporate them into your strategy. they can't surprise you and say, oh yeah, by the way, that thing you tried to do, that's actually not how it works. They need to be upfront with all the rules so that you can properly strategize. But like most games, they don't need that front loading.
I get it.
Like
Some
if you're playing Civilization, they can't just introduce new rules halfway through, because you'd be like, well, I would have played totally differently if I'd known that.
Well, they do. Civilization 6 introduces a brand new set of mechanics. The moment you get to every stage of that game, slightly introduces a new set of mechanics.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think for a strategy game, you need to front load the rules of the game. Otherwise, you can't properly make a strategy.
Like if you get to I believe if you get to the modern age, you start having to deal with global warming and weather effects.
Okay.
Industrial age.
I think it's fine for that to take effect in the modern age, but I think you should be told from the start, bear in mind you don't want to destroy all the forests, even though they're a good source of wood. If you do that, you'll cause problems in the modern age. Like, you should be told that before you start.
James died again.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah,
no, I think it's important that for a strategy game, you need to know the rules before you start. Anything else, like an RPG, you can drip feed system mechanics. If they're not relevant, you don't need to tell the player about them yet.
I mean, in the RPG, you still have the same issue. Like they'll some games introduce, like Final Fantasy. I'll use 6 because that's the easiest one. They introduced the mechanic of magic junctioning. Like toward maybe midway through the first couple of hours. No, you go through Doma. We'll say at least 6-7 hours in.
But with an RPG, it's different because you're not playing like decisions from early on typically don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you didn't use your limit break in the first 2 hours of the game. That doesn't affect anything going forward once you learn how to use it. Whereas a strategy game, if you get to the modern age in Civilization 6 and they're like, surprise, motherfucker, you've got global warming, that is totally unfair, because had you known about it, you would have played totally differently to alleviate the risk of global warming. You can't just spring that on someone in the late stages of a strategy game, because then you're invalidating the last 6 hours of a single game. That is unfair. I don't think that's fair. But
I mean, Civilization has never been that popular. We have Humankind.
But no, I think RPG is totally different. It doesn't matter if you introduce system mechanics later in the game, because the consequences don't carry on from the early game in the same way that they do in something like Civilization.
That's not entirely true. Like, so if I build my characters around, all right, so I know this one person has the magic. If you're playing, again, using Final Fantasy 6 because this is the easiest example I can think of. If you, in the beginning, you only know that there are 2 characters that can use magic. So you give all of your magic boosting items to those 2 characters because they're the only one that can use magic. You rely very heavily on one of 2 of them. But then, here's this new mechanic that everyone can use magic now. So it invalidates the reason for having these 2 characters using magic in the very beginning of the game.
I guess, but usually those situations don't really arise. I mean, I would consider it terrible game design if they did something like that. But typically, learning new mechanics doesn't fuck you over in an RPG the way it does in a strategy game. Like, I would object if, like when they forcibly remove party members in an RPG and they take their stuff with them, that I don't like, because had you known they were going to leave, you wouldn't have given them all the best stuff. Like that kind of thing. I'm not a fan of, but overall, I think what I'm saying holds true.
Oh, yeah. I hate when they do that. They randomly take a party member, especially if you only have 3 party members to begin with.
Yeah, like say when Aerith died in Final Fantasy VII, when that happened, everything, like all the materia she had equipped was just vaporized into nothing, and you just never got access to it ever again. I would say that is bullshit. That would be incredibly unfair.
Because you by then you had like some high powerful. You could have had some really powerful summonings.
Yeah, exactly. And just to have that. Oh well, she died, and she just happened to have the Bahamut summon materia. So fuck you. You don't get that for the rest of the game. I would see a lot of people rage quitting at that point.
Shit, like her dying in general. Like if you spent time building up that character, and then she's gone now. Like what the fuck?
No, I don't have a problem with her dying. As like all her equipment is still available. The only thing that really happens as a consequence of her dying is that you lose your best healer, which is the purpose of killing her off is to make the second 2 discs harder.
Yeah, but you can still all right. So you could have made the second 2 discs harder without killing off your best healer.
No, obviously you could have, but my point is there was a storyline impact that they were going for that tied in with making the second 2 discs harder. Like she needed to die for the story to make sense. And obviously they could have just written a different story, but the story they wrote would not have made sense without Aerith dying.
All right, I can accept that one. Have you ever played a game called Beyond the Beyond?
No.
Nope.
All right, so Beyond the Beyond is a fairly old game. It's an old PS1 game. It has one of the most ridiculous encounter rates. It is notorious. Every 5th step, you have an encounter.
Oh,
Encounters, huh?
I said, oh, fuck that. That sounds awful.
It is. But it gets even worse. They give you the strongest character in that part of the game in the very beginning. You have access to the God of Gods in the very beginning of the game. Problem is, he has a very powerful paralyzation spell that does not wear off. He only attacks every so often, and he may not attack the entire battle. So you have this guy that can literally destroy most enemies, but he doesn't attack, and you only get his damage, his curse removed when you're damn near a good halfway into the game, and you've just gone through one of the hardest dungeons that has a upper level and a lower level that you have to go through in order to beat it. And even then, he is instantly outclassed by the main character once you get his upgrade.
Okay. I mean, I can see that being frustrating.
It is. It really, you get why even give me the cards at all? Why not give me someone that's weaker and not have him gimped so badly?
I guess. I don't have a huge problem with that. I can see it being annoying that he's just there and he's not doing anything, but
like he doesn't, like, seriously, he does, like, he may not attack the entire rat. Like if in a boss battle, he may not attack at all.
I mean, that would be annoying for sure. One of the things that I think was terrible game design was Fire Emblem, where at the beginning of the game you get this super powerful guy, and you don't lose him or anything, but his growth is so slow compared to everyone else that leveling him up is basically worthless. But they don't tell you that. So if you think, oh my god, this guy is amazing, and like you just put all your effort into getting him strong, yeah, then you end up with like a level 20 guy who's got the same stats as anyone else would have been at level 6 because his like growth is that terrible. And I think that was a bad idea because he's so strong at the start that your natural inclination is to use him for everything because he's like clearly the best.
Have you ever played Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yes.
Briefly.
Love that game.
I love that game. So in that game, you had in the story, you have this guy, TG Sid, Thunder God Sid. He is a fucking beast.
Oh yeah.
He is one of the greatest war heroes to ever live. He is damn near nigh unstoppable. In gameplay, once you get him, he is severely gimped.
Oh yeah.
Like they give you him, they build him up so badly in the storyline. Like, yo, once you got him, oh shit, game about to get real serious. And then you play with him. And it's like, what the fuck?
Like, it still pisses me off that in the remake-ish, where all they do is add the 2 characters, then also add a couple more classes that you didn't have basically a Holy Knight class as well. Because they gave you the Dark Knight, which had a few more than what's his name's
Garfons.
Yeah, Garfons.
Well,
I still fucking love Balthier getting added into that. And they have the guy the younger brother from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, who's the main character of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2. And he's just a basically secondary main character, or a copy of your main character, which was awesome.
Well,
from what I hear, they actually trolled pretty hard in Final Fantasy Tactics by giving you Cloud, and like he's apparently awesome, but he's level 1, so
he doesn't have his weapon.
Yeah, then you have to go find the Materia Sword, and the only way he can even use the attacks of his base class is by wearing using the Materia Sword.
Right, and so like you're excited, you finally get Cloud, and then he's complete garbage until you like level him.
Well, shit, he's still garbage, and like by the time you go through the quest line to get him, your main character is at least pushing 50, 60 with like multiple classes under his belt.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cloud starts off as level 1. You need his weapon. You need to get his weapon, and that weapon is not protected. You can have it stolen. You can have it destroyed, and you have to go through this horrible ass battle to get another one, or you may not get it.
See, I think that would be annoying as fuck to finally get Cloud, and he's like level 1 and shit.
And he is. He's literally level 1.
The whole thing of him being level 1 doesn't necessarily bother me, but it's just that whole thing. Like he said, you have to go through this whole rigmarole to get the fucking Materia Blade. And it can be stolen the snag. Except for, that was the one that pissed me off about the remake, was the fact that, like, in the original, any boss you went up against, you had a chance to, if you had a thief, to be able to steal their equipment.
Yeah, you could steal like some high level shit from every boss, and then they gave everybody maintenance. Like all the bosses had maintenance.
Yeah.
So my in the original game, my strategy was to break shit, like dual swords breaking, because it instantly nerfed like most bosses' power level because their weapons gone. And then the remake, maintenance. Fuck.
You okay, James?
Yeah. Or yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, we're just making sure, my friend.
I do wish, though, they'd have given another, like, they'd have let the main character, or at least like Lunch, whatever, have some of the same abilities as Balthier, because that motherfucker was a damn good thief.
Yes,
because it's fucking plunder.
There was a lot of classes that should have been made. I get why certain people had special classes. Rafa and Malik having Heaven and Hell Knight special class. Okay, and it was basically their base squire class. But I really wish they would have given them like unique equipment skills and stuff like that, instead of giving the basic squire shit. They could do just the basic move one instead of like teleporting shit.
Yeah. So did you ever go through, and I can't remember where it is, like what it is, but if you keep the dude who's the engineer, Mastudo, the female Holy Knight, and then the two squires or knights or whatever that you originally get with her, there is a point to where Mastuto will give the Holy Knight a gift because he's got a thing for her.
It's her birthday. Like he gives her a birthday present,
which becomes the usable equipment.
Yeah,
but you only can get that, if memory serves me correctly, if you meet all of that criteria, which you're not going to know, and that whole thing.
It's like I think it's like the another barrette, which that's like for some odd reason that was one of the most ridiculously overpowered fucking items in the world.
Yeah, but it's so easily missable because you're not gonna know.
You could still when you get Alma, his sister, you can take her barrette.
Yeah, but it's still a different one. It's similar, but it's different where you don't get anything. It's that whole thing of like you'd have to take it from the sister, which obviously any guest freaking you have on there, you plunder their equipment like a motherfucker because
hell yeah,
they don't fucking they don't have a thing where they're going to turn to a crystal or a chest.
Shit, I plundered like in order to make the fight where Garfon betrays you easier.
Yeah, you take all his fucking equipment. You fucking take all his shit and you take away any of his skills that he could use that are secondary.
Yes, you leave him with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that motherfucker. But that's in that game. I really hated fighting people alone.
Yeah.
No. So, have you played the Atari?
I've played very briefly Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't know anything about it beyond the genre is the tactical combat. So
there's a character named Weegraf, and when you fight him the first two times, he's a regular man. He's a mook, and he's fairly easy to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But that second fight, you kill him, and the demons, the Lucavi, resurrect him as one of their own.
Yeah, so because freaking Tactics is technically supposed to be, if all memory serves me correctly, a sequel to 12.
It's supposed to be a prequel.
Okay, that might have been it. I couldn't remember. I thought it was a sequel. I couldn't remember if it was a prequel or a sequel.
Yeah, because I believe both there is summoned from the future.
That could be it.
But there's a character named Weegraf. Like he becomes Hashimel, the regulator, and you fight him again. This time he has teleport. He has all the powers of a Holy Knight, which gives him range damage. He has counter, which every time you strike him, he strikes back. He has maintenance, which oh god, I fucking hate maintenance. So you can't destroy his equipment, and you have to fight him with the main character by yourself. And if you don't defeat him, the battle's over.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's game over.
It's game over. And it gets even worse, sorry about. So the second part of that fight, your team comes in, all four of your other members come in. However, you are in such a bad position because you've just fought his human form when his squad back up and your main character surrounded. Mind you, if your main character dies in 3 turns, game over. And you're already weak because you just fought him by yourself. So you're probably low on HP. Your squad is maybe 2-3 turns behind you, depending on the battle. And his squad is right there, and he now has access to like just uber fucks magic. So now, like that fight alone is probably the hardest fight in the entire game.
If you haven't prepped properly.
And then another thing is it's a series battle. So
yeah,
you go into that fight first. You go into another set of fights first, and if you save at any point in that battle, that series of fights, you can't back out. You have to go forward. You can't go back out and train or buy some new shit. Once you saved in that series of fight, after that first fight in that series of battles, you have to continue.
Mm-hmm. Oh Jesus!
And he's the last battle. No, you fight Elmnor. No, I don't think you fight Elmnor. Do you fight Elmnor?
I don't remember in that one who you fought.
No, you don't fight Elmnor in that one because that's I believe you don't have. It's in the third chapter. Well, it's whatever. Honestly,
The only other thing I hate about the freaking remake as well is because like summons, because like just like magic, depending on which higher level magic you would use, would take like so many turns for you to cast it, type thing. And by turns, it means characters, not just your character's turn itself.
Right.
But it used to be whoever was in the area of effect for the summons got hit by it, and then they changed it to your teammates don't. It's like, motherfucker, there's certain fight. It's like you like a couple attacks you can only learn by getting hit by, and if you can't hit your other characters with it, they can't fucking learn it.
That's
yeah.
That shit pissed me off so much.
Shit, I used to love. I love the magic system in that game because it's based off of faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And higher, you can manipulate the faith to your benefit. Like having lower faith is preferable in fighter characters, unpreferable in magic users. But if your faith is too high, motherfuckers will leave you.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Also, if your faith is like because of that as well, like not only do you do more magic damage with higher faith, you also receive more magic damage.
Oh,
magical effects like healing. A high faith character gets so much more healing than a low faith character.
Okay.
But you, like you said, you also take less magic damage with a low faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so. And then you had to worry about bravery because a cowardly motherfucker will lead your party too. Yeah. Like, I'm tired of fucking fighting. I'm going to desert you, dude. What the fuck? I think James, we lost James.
And then they also don't tell you that there's a specific few creatures that you actually do need to invite into your team, so that way you can leave a couple of slots open so they can have kids that you will basically hunt so you can use their skins to get certain items.
Oh, that's another thing that fucking... So if you left enough slots open, one monster character can overtake every slot with eggs. Yep. Like, so you could
for the pig creatures, that's the only way to get some of the other pig creatures is to quite literally make sure you invite one and then let them reproduce so that way you can go through and bring the one into battle so you can do the hunt thing on it to where you'll plunder their skin.
Yeah, it was so much easier to do that one.
Because after that, like, you would not get them again because they were only available in a couple a couple points in the game where you'd even fight them. They weren't your typical regular enemies.
Yes, and that's
But the cool thing was like occasionally you could have it because like you would do random battles, and early on you would only fight monsters, and most of the humans were only in story battles. So one of the really funny things is like after I think in like somewhere in chapter 2 is when it really starts.
No, you fight humans in you fight humans in random battles. Like I very vividly remember fighting monks and getting certain skills off of their corpses.
I don't remember that being in chapter 1 though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I remember like there's if you because this is how I used to play.
I don't remember it being early, at least in chapter 1. Like for the random battles of having regular humans in it. But then the other cool thing you could do, but as like it would progress, because like, and you'd have that, you could invite someone to join, and as long as they stayed alive to the end of the battle, you could then therefore have them join. And it was always kind of fun when it's like you were kind of early in the chapter, you'd invite someone to join, get them in there, plunder all their equipment, and then kick them the fuck out. And they're like, really? You don't want me in your group? And you're like, nah, bitch, just want you your stuff.
I didn't want your shit. I didn't have a thief on me. But that's the only useful a fucking mediator had. Inviting people.
Yeah. Because then the specific Squire ability as well would have it that depend on if you had the monsters in your party, it would actually give them an additional skill, like actual skill of usable action. That'd be it.
Oh yeah, and I really wish that they had more rideable enemies because you could ride kobolds and I believe you could ride dragons.
I don't believe you could ride dragons. I know you could ride the chocobos.
Yeah, that's like the only ones that you could ride, which may like why can't we ride other other creatures?
Hmm.
Like I would have loved to ridden a Marlboro.
I still just loved all the different freaking extra characters they had because, like, quite literally by the end of it, you would have enough room that you would want to have like you didn't have to have the dragons on your team because as soon as you got was it Reyes or
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember if that was the guy or the chick.
the chick because you got Reyes with the chick and you had Beowulf with the guy.
That was it, Beowulf. Yeah, Beowulf was the guy because like she turns back into a human, but she has every dragon skill that the monsters have.
She counts as the monster.
She just doesn't give off offspring.
Yeah, she counts as a monster for Beast Talk, not Beast Talk. Beast Talk and the skill that powers up monsters. She counts.
I think I'm going to head out. I've been streaming most of the day and I'm getting a bit tired, so I'll catch you guys later.
Not a problem.
All right, see you, Terry. Bye.
See you guys later.
Later. I mean, we've been going like an hour and a half already, anyways.
I mean, if you're tired, I can end it.
That's on you and whatnot. I just know eventually I'm gonna have to go use the restroom, and it's gonna be a minute.
It's late. We can end it. All right. Most of the midnight crew is gone. I guess it's time to go. Rodney, you have anything planned coming out?
I got a couple videos I still got to work on. I was doing other shit today, so I got stuff in the works, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to continue on with the Avatar thing. I just haven't quite figured it out yet.
All right. We'll be back at our normal time. I might do this again. This was fun. Like just have a midnight show that just shit talk in anime and whatnot, and video games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe I'll make this the Monday. This will be our Monday thing. You know, I'll send y'all guys something if I think of it. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Morning crew's coming in. It's time for us to go. Bye.
Later.
Laters.